What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Copon. It's September 25, 2025, and this is Lift and Learn episode 142. In this episode, I'll talk about dead hangs and why you should be doing them every day or every workout, and why Hyrox-Style training can be so beneficial. Before we get into today's episode, I'll share what life has been like lately. Sometimes it'll be fitness related in some aspect. If you want to follow along, you can find me on Instagram at isaiah.copon or check out my website, isaiahcopon.com, where I offer personal training and coaching. The podcast also has its own page as well. That's at Lift and Learn Podcast. That's where I'll be posting short clips of the show. And now for today's episode. All right, everyone. So it's officially been 5 years since I launched this podcast. The podcast's birthday. It's now 5 years old. Meanwhile, I'm 35 today. I started this when I was 30. When I turned 30, I haven't made a single dime directly from the podcast. I just do it for people to hopefully gain some information and knowledge. Now, yes, I've gained a few clients from them listening to this podcast, and that's been great. Made some meaningful connections just because something I said on here might have helped or maybe resonated with a listener, which just makes me happy. I've learned that during the pandemic, this was easy to keep up. I had all the time in the world to do this podcast. I was freelancing as a trainer at the time, which I enjoyed. I started this during COVID with the stay-at-home orders and all that. Now, life is obviously a bit different. 5 years has passed. Now I'm married, have a 1-year-old daughter, obviously. So now finding that time for not only making this podcast and even other content is a new challenge, but I'll follow the schedule I have, stay on top of it as best as I can while trying to juggle my coaching job during the day, being a dad all the time. But so far for September, it's been manageable. And now that I'm 35, I'm officially in my mid-30s and getting closer to 40 every day. I still remember, actually, when I was in my 20s starting to work out, people were telling me, oh, wait till you get to 30, then it'll be harder. And then, coincidentally, that was when the pandemic started for me, 2020. It was hard to navigate how to stay in shape at that time. Gyms were closed and everything, but hey, I survived. And now that I'm 35, people are telling me that, hey, when you get to your 40s, it's going to be that much harder. And I understand that, but this is just my life now. There's nothing that's going to stop me from actually finding time to work out. I'll do what it takes because I see the value in it for me, especially when I look around and see people my age. And honestly, I think I'm in the best shape of my life right now. I can run a few kilometers without getting completely gassed or winded. I might not be the strongest I've ever been, but I'm moving better than ever. My sleep is probably the best and most consistent it's been in years. That's another thing when they said, when you have a baby, your sleep cycle is going to be, or your sleep in general is just going to be thrown off. But honestly, I was sleeping worse before the baby, so this actually kind of helped me. My mobility is probably the best it's been as well. That continues to be a work in progress. And yeah, my endurance is definitely the best since I was probably 18 or something like that. It's like half my life ago, since I'm actually spending time working on cardio that's actually difficult and not just walking on the treadmill all the time. But then again, I still think I can improve in pretty much all aspects of my life right now. That's still my mindset. I believe I can still set lifetime PRs squatting, benching, deadlifting if I just focus on that. So we'll see if I get around to that again. I am excited to go back to more bodybuilding or powerlifting stuff again because that's been missing from my workouts throughout the week, but I do still do it every now and then. So now, I'm about a week away from the Hyrox comp that I won't shut up about, and from this point forward, my plan right now is to do a clean bulk for the rest of the year. I'm still trying to think of my strategy for the next 12 months, so we'll see. Maybe I'll change it up. Just thinking out loud right now. Regardless, I'll be posting some of my meals for the next few months. High protein, of course. That's the only way to eat. I've actually been diving deep or whatever into cooking channels on YouTube. So I've been learning a lot when it comes to how to cook certain meals, certain recipes, obviously putting my spin on those to add in more vegetables than what they usually have, cutting out the fat sometimes, like just a little bit, and I'm adding more protein into those meals as well. So my meals have taken a step up in the taste department for the past few weeks now. I'm excited to share those meals with you guys if you want to follow along on Instagram for that. So yeah, Hyrox in about a week. I'm pretty much chilling with my training now. Just got to train hard for the last time this weekend just to make sure I'm ready. And then I'm going to spend the week resting and just doing very small things like walking, maybe super light jogs, mobility throughout my body. My left shoulder and left knee were acting up a bit this past, honestly, it's been like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I don't want to make them worse. I just got to keep pushing, and then I'm coasting next week leading up to the event. Like I said before, I'm getting excited. I just need to remember to pace myself during the race and don't get carried away or run too fast, especially right at the beginning. But knowing me, I'm going to be running too slow at the beginning, just like I used to when I used to run track in high school. What I noticed during my training is that my first few runs are actually pretty slow, and then my legs start to warm up and get fired up, so I'll likely be doing the same thing subconsciously during the event. My runs are going well leading up to the event, probably because I'm way lighter than when I first started running earlier this year. I'm officially down, give or take, 24 pounds since the start of the year, so that's helped for other movements like burpee broad jumps, lunges, probably the wall balls too, to a certain extent. I just feel so much lighter on my feet. I can keep up a sub 5 minute pace for around 8 kilometers, maybe more if I push it. But I'm glad I was able to improve my running this year because my first run I logged on Strava was like over a 6.5 minute pace, and I was just gassed. So now I'm able to run longer distances without getting winded too much. I can maintain a much lower heart rate at a faster pace, so that's obviously a good sign. But yeah, I think the next mission for me is to just try to continue this throughout the winter because I don't want to lose my cardio completely right now, so I'm going to try to find ways to keep it up when it gets cold out. Honestly, like I'm probably just going to run outside and be one of those psychos like running in like minus 15, minus 20, but we'll see. I say that now, but like I said, we'll see. We'll see. I just think I need to do a bit of a better job staying on top of the mobility and keeping myself injury free, especially this winter. I managed to finally play some golf. First round in September. Oh boy, I've been going to the range, give or take, like every Sunday, and I thought I was still pretty good, but I thought wrong. I guess it really does make a difference when you're actually playing rounds compared to just going to the range, because I did not play well, which, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I lost too many balls out there, more than the usual, but it's all good. It was a really nice day. Got to hang out with one of my clients and a buddy from work, so that was solid. And me and him were talking, and it got me thinking about what my next few months looks like when it comes to training and diet. I'll probably talk about that more in a few weeks because I want to finalize that. I'll do that after Hyrox is done because I'm not fully decided on bulking or cutting yet. So I'll just figure that out after the event is over. Question 1. Why you should be doing dead hangs? This is something I do all the time. I encourage my clients to do it as well. Dead hangs. I mean, that just means you're just hanging off of a pull-up bar or something like that. Not only does it feel good, I just love the way it decompresses my spine, especially when I do it at 5 a.m. as soon as I get to the gym. It feels great. The decompression just helps with reducing pressure between your vertebrae. For me specifically, what happens every now and then is I'll hang off of a pull-up bar, hang there for a bit, and I can actually feel my low back decompress, and it feels pretty good. I feel like this one's an underrated exercise or stretch, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why more people don't do this actually. I'm actually going to get my clients to start doing this more often. Dead hangs are great because not only does it help with the decompression of your spine, it also helps work on strengthening your grip strength. I can easily do that 90-second hang challenge now at this point because I've practiced it for years. You're hanging off of a bar, using your hands, so obviously that means you're working your forearms, hands, fingers. That's going to help you build that grip strength. This carries over to real life tasks you'll have to do. This helps in real life, things like carrying groceries in or picking up any heavy objects throughout the day. Not to mention, there's even research linking overall longevity and health to how strong your grip strength is. I mean, that's how impactful and beneficial this can be. All right, so in terms of mobility, the dead hangs can help with your shoulder mobility, core stability. I notice this in myself and clients, mainly when they're doing their dead hangs. Sometimes their body is like swaying back and forth a little bit, and that actually shows you that your core is a bit unstable. If you do your best to keep it still, that's when that's when you're actively working your core, and it can actually teach you how to brace your core a bit more properly. I actually found out something else pretty recently, that the dead hangs can help with certain posture alignment. So this should help when it comes to specifically the way your upper body is aligned. It's actually a pretty good movement to reduce the slouching you might have, just because it does strengthen your back and shoulders. All day, we're hunched over in our desks. I mean, I'm doing it right now. Typically, we're sitting down on our phones, tablets, keyboards, whatever it is. So that's yet another reason why you should be doing these dead hangs throughout the week. That's how important it is. I mean, they're great for anyone to do. You can scale it accordingly. Okay, so what if you can only hold on for 5 seconds? It's fine. Just practice. You'll get better. That makes getting your first pull-up easier as well. That's the tough part of it. Just holding yourself up can be a challenge. And challenge yourself, like actually try to hold longer and longer each time. Even if it's just a 1 second difference, that's going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things. There's some adversity that you have to push through when you're hanging on for dear life, but you just got to do some hard things sometimes for you to improve. That's true with a lot of things in life, and especially true when it comes to improving your health. There's not even a real barrier to stop you from doing these. Like whatever you can hang on, you can even buy a bar that you can set up in your house for like less than $50, maybe even $30. And that's something that can help you just be a little bit healthier. Like hanging on there for just like 30 seconds every time you pass by, for example. Do that a few times a day if you have it set up in your house. I mean, that's going to help you improve. I remember I had a client, this is the last thing I'll mention, we were rehabbing her shoulder. She was coming back from a rotator cuff injury, and dead hangs were a great movement to see how recovered she was from it. Obviously, at first, she couldn't even get her arm over her head, but eventually she was able to, and we were working on these when most of the pain went away. I remember she couldn't even do a dead hang at all, and then we knew she still wasn't ready for it when it came to how her body reacted. Thankfully, we were eventually able to do it to do it safely, and she didn't injure herself again. So, of course, you should be careful when doing these and work well within your limits. At first, she could only like hold on to it for like 5 seconds, and then we just added every week. We just added a second, and then all of a sudden, one week, like we added like 10 seconds out of nowhere. It was actually kind of crazy. So, if you're gonna do this, I mean, the last thing I'd want to hear is that you went to do a dead hang this week and then you hurt your shoulder or you landed weird on the ground when you dismounted. So I just need everybody do these, but be careful, please. Question 2, why you should train Hyrox-Style. So like I've said 100 times, I'm 1 week away from my first Hyrox competition. Not sure if I'll do another, but we'll see how I do next Saturday. I just wanted to talk about why you should sprinkle in some kind of Hyrox-style training into your routine. Simply put, this just means throwing in specific circuits. First off, I'm in arguably the best shape I've been in, depending on how you look at it. The circuit workouts force you to work hard if you're chasing a time, or even not even chasing a time, actually, because it's hard enough to just complete it. In terms of my cardiovascular health, again, best I've been on that front since high school, which has been great in terms of moving around easier. I'm less out of breath going up the stairs. I can keep up with my daughter. I can play sports, which is important for me. The workouts, especially the Hyrox ones, are intense, so that means I'm burning way more calories during the workout. That's led me to be the lightest I've been since 2019. That's before the pandemic. Most workouts I'm burning over like 700 calories when I'm going all out for 60 to 90 minutes. Easier way into this style of training though. I've already heard of 4 different athletes that I know who are training in like a Hyrox style but hurt themselves because they go too intense. That's why I need to say that it's not safe for everyone. It took me a few months to get to this level. Back in March, when I first started training for it, it was rough. I'd be tired very quickly, especially coming from a bodybuilder or powerlifting background. Going for like 3 to 5 minutes between sets to absolutely no breaks or as little breaks as possible, yeah, you need to be in shape for that. And it's only at this point where I feel like I can push through some of those moments because it is taxing on your body. But again, I've been training for months to get to this point and I was already in decent shape before. The introduction of running has my heart working harder, but I've lost body fat percentage. And I've seen it with some of my clients as well, who I've started to introduce to these circuit style routines. Like I said, they're not for everyone, but I feel like you should just try it and stick with it for a little bit. And you'll notice that benefit after a few weeks of pushing yourself to a sub max, where you're actually like dripping sweat a little bit, you know? I have a client actually started training her online probably about like 4 months ago and completely changed her life. She told me she's been working out with this Bowflex thing for a year. So these workouts were a big change to what she was doing. And this is actually the reason why I wanted to even bring up this topic. It was game changing for her because she was in pretty decent shape, but kind of hit a plateau with her training. And that's why she came to me in the first place. She needed to do a workout that was new to her so her body could change for the better. And this worked. Hyrox specific workouts. If we break it down, obviously you're doing some running, but it'll help you build full body strength because of the moves you're doing. So those sled pushes, the sled pulls, not only affect your legs, but that's a full body exercise, especially if you scale the weight accordingly. So make it heavy and challenging for yourself a little bit so you can reap some of those benefits. The movements are designed to work your whole body. When I first did my first few like burpee broad jumps earlier this year, oh man, my heart rate was like higher than it's ever been after doing only a few of them, and I was in pretty good shape. So yeah, pretty tough. These workouts are an easy, and I use that term lightly, an easy way to lose body fat and gain some muscle because of the way they're designed. You're constantly in motion during these workouts, so you'll be burning a ton of calories. Plus, you're working hard during the stations, whether it's the sled pushes or sled pulls, the burpee broad jumps, or even the walking lunges. The whole thing is pretty challenging. Not to mention mental toughness. Wow. This one took me a while. I did not develop this right away. I remember way back in March when I first started, I was actually quitting most workout routines that I was following because they were just so intense. At that point, I could only do like 3 to 5 burpee broad jumps before I was just gassed. Yeah, I was like thinking, okay, thank God I got the flex option for the Hyrox ticket because I can still cancel it by the time, actually today would be the last day that I could cancel or like, yeah, get a refund. Sorry, get a partial refund. Today's the last day. So I guess we've committed now. For my clients, it's been great tossing this into their program because it's challenging for them, but at the same time, I make it so they're able to complete it, and that gives them a sense of accomplishment. And we've seen some of the metrics improving using the tracking like Garmin Watch, Apple Watch, Whoop Band, Fitbit, whatever it is. And after a few weeks, they're able to handle harder workouts, which shows that their fitness level is definitely improving. I mentioned my goals last week, but if you actually do decide to train and compete this way, that could help you when it comes to motivation. That's the exact situation I was in. I still had that competitive spirit in me, and now that's going to be fulfilled next weekend. But that's what this style of training gave me. I actually felt like training again, so switching up my routine, doing this instead. At the end of the day, I'm really just competing with myself, but just seeing the other competitors who like work their ass off to get to this point, I didn't want to be the one in the back of the pack. And for me, that helped me locked in my focus, like I said before. And I actually did like the community aspect of it too. I have like people from work who want me to do this workout with them or going to an actual gym that focuses on this. There's actual like camaraderie there. People are cheering for each other during the event. It's like you're part of the team or a team. And that helped me when it came to pushing through some tough times during the races or the mock-up races that I did. Yeah, it was a great sense of community, which could help you when it comes to discipline and pushing yourself harder than you normally would if you were just working out on your own. I found that out the hard way. Trust me. So yeah, I know it could be tough, but give it a try. You don't have to do the whole Hyrox event where you're doing like ski erg for 1,000 meters. Try just 150 meters and see how that feels and push further from there if you feel like those become easy. Start with easier variations of the movements and then make it harder if that becomes something you can handle. I think they're great for all these reasons. I mean, they're great for developing the body and mind. It'll give you gains in terms of muscle mass and cardiovascularly as well. Not to mention there's some functional fitness, so strength that will translate to real life as well. And that concludes episode 142 of the podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Lift and Learn podcast. If you enjoyed the episode or the podcast as a whole, it would mean a lot if you left a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to this. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes are currently being released on Thursdays. You can find me, your host, on Instagram at isaiah.copon or visit my website at isaiah.com. If you want to follow the podcast itself, head over to Instagram and look up at Lift and Learn Podcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.